pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Reba, roll call.
Mr. Bonomo?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Mr. Fume?
Here.
Mrs. Kay? Mr. John?
Here.
Mr. Mahalik?
I'll participate on phone until I'm able to get there.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Here.
Mrs. Scarcella? Mr. Zola?
Here.
Announcement of executive sessions held as follows: November 16, 2017, litigation, personnel, and tax appeals. Presentation.
At this time, I would like to publicly thank members of our board that will be leaving us in a few short weeks, and with that, and thanking them for their service. Here, Mr. John says, "Thank you for your 8 years of service and dedication on the Hazleton Area School District Board of Education."
If they told me to you give oh. Thanks.
Chapman?
I earned it. Sure did.
Mr. O'Donnell. Come up. Again, very appreciative of your service and dedication to the district, and wish you well in your future endeavors, and we're going to miss you on the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we have a small presentation from our ESP, and come on up. I will get out of
Good evening, everyone. My name is Francine Falabella, and I am the Vice President of the Hazleton Area Education Support Professionals. Last Wednesday, November 15th, we celebrated National ESP Day with a dinner for our members. In true support, staff fashion, the members gave back to the community with donations of bags for Brandon's Forever Home, as well as Palermo Heart to Heart Foundation Beads of Courage project. Tonight it is my honor and pleasure on behalf of the HAESP members to present a check for $500 for the children of Beads of Courage to Donna Palermo. She is the secretary of the Palermo Heart to Heart Foundation. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, ask our student representative, Ms. Book.
Okay, so I just have some positive things that have been happening this past month at our school. First off, the members of HOSA, which stands for the Health Occupation Students of America, recently donated $500 to the My Little Wig Fund for local women with cancer. Then junior Alice Banks placed second in the Wyoming Valley Veterans Day essay contest, earning a prize of $100. She also then participated in the Wyoming Valley Veterans Day program and parade. Our junior Alexis Coolish was chosen to give a speech on what Veterans Day means to me at the Hazleton Elks Veterans Day luncheon and program. The SAD organization conducted a food drive that will provide Thanksgiving meals for many families of the Hazleton area. The Drama Club, the Cougar Players, delighted audiences with their production of the annual Putnam County Spelling Bee this past weekend. Also, the mock trial teams won both first and second places at the Monroe County Bar Association Invitational. Moreover on that, Ashley Marata, Chris Kavalik, Connor Paulshak, Abby Hartz, and Nick Evans all won individual awards for their performance. The girls' tennis team won their third consecutive Wyoming Valley Conference Team Championship and the District 2 Championship. Senior Stephanie Mazurik won the PIAA District 2 Singles Championship. And finally, the Hazleton Area High School hosted 150 veterans and their families for a Veterans Day breakfast and program. The members of the senior class, along with the chorus, band, and art students, all contributed to making this annual event a huge success. Thank you.
Public comment directed to the board on agenda items only. Okay, well. Actually, it's more now. You said 13? That's what I was told.
You want me to leave it? Oh, you want?
Yeah.
That's fine.
12, 15, 60.
My name is Antonio Rodriguez, and I live in Hazleton. And I wish to speak on item number 4 on page 2. This is going to be very exciting. This is something that you need to approve. Please. Item number 4 on page 2. The French class. The French teachers and the French students are organizing a trip to Québecville, Montréal. Je parle français un peu. And this is great. This should be approved. We have a lot of Spanish is abundant within the district. And we have some German, and we have some French. And I am asking the district to expand the French program. Please, the French language is something that the students need to know. Become familiarized with France and Canada. And also, I'm hoping that the district, I am recommending that the district will add French classes to your adult evening educational programs that I have seen in newspapers at the Votec, and I think at the high school also. Some adults are learning some classes that I think is during the spring, and I'm asking you to add French. Je parle français un peu. Je voudrais parler français tous les jours, mais ce n'est pas possible. What I'm saying is that I wish to also to brush up with my French. And if you establish an evening class for French, I will try to help the teacher. I will also contribute to keep the class going. French is beautiful. What else should I say? Okay, French, FSL. We have ESL. What about FSL? French as a second language. Sure. And my granddaughter is in the French class. She's a junior. And I heard the bad news that the French class is going to be reduced. Am I correct? Any French teachers here? Mr. Principal, can you say something about what I have heard about the French class being reduced?
You can.
French curriculum is continuing. Will we have 4 years of French? That's great. That's great. Great. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Don I. Kersey, 95.
Donna Kersey from Hazel Township. And my question is for item number 95. If you could give me some clarification on it, tell us a little bit of what your need is and what you're looking for. Are you looking for elementary, middle school, early childhood?
The thought process on these 4 positions is to assist in the overcrowding in our elementary buildings, starting in that area, and target our kindergarten classrooms with those classrooms in the buildings that are closed, if you will. We have some need in Freeland, Drums, West Hazleton, and what's the third, fourth one? I have it here. The gas, at the Valley. I'm sorry, at the Valley. Thank you. So that's to because we don't have the rooms right now, the rooms available. The thought is also to team teach to draw some of that pressure off the initial teacher that's in that classroom.
Okay, and now my next question is, it also states in that item 95 that you are going by an established list, okay? Now, is that established list also the list that Mr. Zola gave me on August 17th? Is this the established list?
That should be.
That would be the
same
list.
one.
Yes.
Is it the same one?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Nobody else is on it.
There was no one else on it.
Okay. Approve the board meeting minutes, regular monthly meeting, October 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Treasurer's report for October 2017.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Before we get started, we are removing items number 12, 13, 60, and 76. Mr. Uplinger,
All right.
take it away.
Thank you.
Excuse me, what was after 16?
60, 76.
60 and 76.
76, 13, and 12.
On your agenda, under curriculum and instruction, Career Center, approve items 1 through 29.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
On items 1 through 29, excluding 12 and 13, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under special education, ESL, and alternative education, approve items 30 through 38.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Numbers 30 through 38, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 5, under nutrition,
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Number 39, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Ayes have it, motion passes.
under transportation, approve items 40
Motion.
to 41.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Items 40 and 41, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any against? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 6, under security, approve items 42 to 44 with one motion.
Second.
Questions or comments?
No, I have a motion. I'd like to make a motion to table number 44.
I'll second that.
Questions or comments on the motion?
I just want to make it clear, I'm not against cameras or anything, but I just think we need just a little bit more information. On Tuesday or Thursday, I know the cost was around 900,000, now it's over $1 million, so maybe we could just get a clarification down the road and a little bit more research.
We talked about this at 2 separate committee meetings. Last week at the work session.
I was here at that.
You were here.
Yep.
We discussed it. We talked about it. It was specifically asked, should we move it to tonight's meeting? Bobby, you were one of them that said yes.
What was the cost on Thursday?
It was 800 and some thousand.
And now it's over $1 million.
So take
So it's
the
different.
2 schools off that weren't on it and do the 800. That's what everybody wanted to do. I was asked tonight that 2 new board members coming on are requesting this to be taken off until the meeting, their first meeting. Now, why? Why, Bobby?
You'll have to ask them.
I-
That's not
I-
why I'm asking for it.
That's exactly why you're asking for it, Bobby.
Vinny.
I was asked not less than 15 minutes ago if I would have an objection if this was taken off to be held
Well,
till
then,
the first meeting
is there an
that the 2
objection?
new board members would be here at.
Is
What's
there-
the difference? Wow.
Vinny,
Vinny, just because somebody doesn't agree with you, I mean,
Wait,
come
wait.
on. I mean, every time.
Bobby,
Vinny,
you have unbelievable.
Vinny, I wasn't here at the committee meeting. It was the first committee meeting I missed in 8 years. And I think $1 million is an awful lot of money to spend. And I didn't, if you want to give it to the next people, if you want to have a special meeting before they take over, that's fine.
They
But
must have,
I
they must
need
have
some
asked you as
information on
well,
that.
Clarence.
What, Tony, Vinny?
They must have asked you as well then to hold off
I
tonight.
did not talk to them at all.
This is,
$1 million is a
Wow.
lot of money.
A lot of money.
Explain to me, though, the difference between the 800 and some thousand and the million.
they
You mentioned
decided
two.
to add Hazel Element, or the,
Early learning.
they added 2 extra buildings on that weren't originally included on it. Maple Manor's cameras were put in a few years ago during the construction, and there was one other building that the cameras were within 5 years. It was discussed last week that do them all, that they would all be upgraded to the same standards, because the money was there. The money was there from the project of Maple Manor. There was over $1 million left from Maple Manor, and there was over $1 million that was borrowed to work on the castle building, to repoint the castle, which we found out later didn't need to be repointed. So that money's there. So we have $1 million from the castle that's been sitting there that can only be used for those types of projects. The cameras, redoing something in the building. That money's been sitting there for 3-4 years now, 5 years maybe. Hasn't been touched, 5 years. We're paying interest on money that we haven't used. Here's a situation where we have at least 10 schools where our cameras are inadequate by far. We have some schools that they're not operating at all. It's a shame. It was let go over the last 10 years, the camera, less than that, maybe the last 5 years, our camera systems in our schools have been let go to a point where we're still using VCRs to record in drums. It's ludicrous. So we went through the trouble of having the companies come in, our chief, who I don't know if he's here this evening or not, scheduled a meeting last week. Everyone was entitled to come to it, where the company came in, did a presentation on what they would do. This goes back months ago when we were looking at doing the ESCO project. Everyone was in favor. Am I right or wrong? Everyone was in favor of putting it on the ESCO project. They were going to do every building in the ESCO project. That's not free. The only difference is it was going to be paid back over a longer period of time. Now, we're going to put it on hold again for a couple of weeks until the new board takes over so that they can make the decision. It's just, do what you want, do what you want.
Vinny, what two buildings were added?
Maple Manor and I
think Valley.
Valley.
Stem.
Who?
Oh, the Academy of Science, right.
My other question is, because I wasn't at the committee meetings last week, would anything change as far as the finances for it as to whether you did it tonight or if you did it in 2 or 3 weeks or
No.
whatever?
It's just a delay. It's just a delay tactic. It's a political delay tactic, just like negotiations, just like everything else. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
There's a motion and a second. Can we vote on the
Motion to table?
table? Yeah.
On the motion to table, Mr. Bonomo,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman,
No.
Mr. Fume,
Yes.
Mr. John,
Pass.
Mr. Mahalik,
No.
Mrs. Scarcella,
Pass.
Mr. Zola,
No.
Mr. O'Donnell,
No.
Mr. John, are you,
No.
and Mrs. Scarcella?
Did vote.
You
No,
passed.
she can't.
Last two.
No.
Motion to table failed.
Do we have, is there a motion and a second to,
There's a motion and second to approve 42 to 44.
Motion.
Bobby, who was the motion?
I have Mr. Chapman and Mr. Zola.
On the motion to approve items 42 to 44, Mr. Bonomo,
Yes on all but 44.
Mr. Chapman,
Yes on all.
Mr. Fume,
Yes and all.
Mr. John,
Pass.
Mr. Mahalik,
Yes.
Mrs. Scarcella,
Yes.
Mr. Zola,
Yes.
Mr. O'Donnell,
yes.
Mr. John.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I want to thank those that voted yes. It's important. It needs to be done. The money's there. It can only be used for these types of projects. There was no reason for further delay in this.
Under technology, item number 45.
So
Rec-
moved.
Need a second? Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
45, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 7, under student activities, athletics, and extracurricular, approve items
So
46
moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Numbers 46 to 48, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under facilities and capital projects, approve items 49 to 52 with one motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Numbers 49 to 52, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under finance, approve items 53 to 59.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Numbers 53 to 59, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Item number 61, bills.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
61, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No any.
Ayes have it, noting Mr. Bonomo's no vote.
Under superintendent's agenda, approve items 62 to 64.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Numbers 62 to 64, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Approve items 65 to 75 with one motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Items 65 through 75, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 11, approve items 77 through 86 with one motion.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Items 77 through 86, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 12, approve items 87
So
through
moved.
96.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Are we naming the 8 and 95? Are we naming those people this evening?
We are not. That'll give us time to make sure that they're not in another position in another district prior to bringing them on. But we will utilize that.
But the list
That
will be
list.
followed.
Yeah, they'll be
In
the first
chronological.
4 asked in order of the, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Mr. Chapman made a motion, can we get a second?
I second.
Yeah, we did.
Questions or comments? Mr. Reba?
Numbers 87 through 96, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Page 13, approve items 97 through 99 with
So
one
moved.
motion.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Just
Mr. Reba?
Numbers 97 through 99, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
just
Ayes have it, motion passes.
And I do have one other item that is not on the agenda this evening. They came to us a little late. We didn't get a chance to get out to you, but I do have one more item, agenda item. Recommend board approve the change of retirement date for Mr. George Donati from December 31st to January 5th, 2018. He will receive option number 2.
So moved.
Do you need public comment on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will.
All right, I'm making a motion.
I'll second.
Since this agenda item was brought after the publication of the agenda, does anybody have any public comment?
January.
Mhm. Mr. Reba, roll call then.
Okay, on the new motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passed.
Anything else for the good of the order?
I'd like to say a couple things. I just want to, you guys that are leaving, Clarence, Jimmy, I appreciate everything, Jared, that working with you guys, I learned a lot. And I appreciate the time that you took with new board members coming on to, explain some things and let us know how it works. You're dedicated. All 3 of you are dedicated to the students of this district. And I really appreciated working with y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd also like to congratulate and for the job well done over the last several years, Jared, Jimmy Chapman, and Clarence, and people who gave a lot of their time, and were dedicated to doing what was right. It was a rough road, and it is a rough road, and a lot of challenges in this district, but you gave it your all, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to just say 1 or 2 things. 1965, I started in this district as a sub. So I've been in this district for 53 years, and I'm going to really miss it. But I'm thinking about making a comeback in 2 years. However, I've changed my mind slightly. I was going to put an article in the paper stating, I'm back. And I saw what happened to that person who put the article in the paper, I'm back. He lost. So if somebody can help me with something to start it out with, I would appreciate it. I was going to use I'm back, but that didn't work. So I don't want it to fail a second time.
Yeah, and although I'm not coming back in 2 years, I can guarantee you that, I think, anyway. But never say never. I found it to be a very interesting 4 years here working with, for the most part, central office staff, because that's who you deal with, and the board members up here in front of you. as well as there's 3 or 4 that were at the past board that I also worked with. Dr. Childs, Brian Early, Marfi Yannick, almost said Degenhart, and I'm forgetting one, Robbie Wallace, who I really shouldn't forget because he and I worked very well together. Great deal of respect for him, the 2 years I spent with him on the board. And of course, you could go down through the district from central office to the administration, and then you have the teachers, the support staff, you have the security, the maintenance, and hopefully I'm not missing anybody. And most importantly of all, the students of the district. This is really a great district. I worked for it for 36 years, and I left with my head held high when I left McAdoo 7 years ago. So I'll miss a lot of the parts of this too, but this is a very difficult position, and nobody up here has an easy time, whether we agree with each other or not on certain issues. And we don't always make the right decisions maybe, but we do what we can, the best we can based on the information we have. And a lot of what happens up here, although it's unfortunate sometimes, it's driven by the budget and finances rather than being driven by what the students need. But again, everybody does their best for the most part, and I think that's all you can ask. And I would finally like to say I would like to wish the 3 new board members that are coming on well. I'm sure they're going to do a great job too. Once they get up here in front of you, they're going to find out it's not as easy as when you're sitting back there or watching it on TV, but I'm sure they'll do a great job too. And with that, I'm signing off for the last time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy, and Clarence as well. The past 4 years has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. I actually, even farther back, I ran for the board in 2011. I was 19 years old when I ran, and the idea of me running for the board at the time was unheard of, and I got a lot of flack from a lot of people. What does this kid know about, running for the board? What does he know about the district? I lost that election in 2011 by a small margin, I'll say. Most people, I think, at that point would have walked away. 2 years later, though, I decided. I was actually serving an internship down in Ocean City, Maryland, and I had the option. I was 21 years old at the time now. I had the option to stay in Ocean City, Maryland for the summer. I was 21 years old. I had the option to stay in Ocean City, Maryland, and I decided to come back and run for the Hazleton Area School Board. Not many people would have made that same decision.
What were you thinking, Jerry? Yeah.
I still get asked that to this day. A lot of people ask me too, how much do you get paid to be on the board? The compensation is zero, and it's only headaches sometimes. But ultimately, this has been one of the most rewarding periods of my life to see the students progress as much as they have, to see the staff work during impossible times almost, with the demographics that we face, with the financial situation that we all face. It's almost an impossible situation, but our teachers don't complain, our staff don't complain. They come in every morning and they do their job. So I have to thank first and foremost the staff of this district for contributing all that they do to this district. It's nobody should be left out in that. I have to thank one of my professional mentors, Mr. Fred Barletta, who I consider to be the best educator I ever had in this district. He's probably one of the most underpaid people in this district for all that he does to keep our athletic programs up and running. It's a thankless job that he does for all the work that he puts into it. And I just want to say thank you to Freddie, because he's helped me along as a student and as a board member as well. So I just want to thank him for all that he does. in this district. And lastly, well, two more groups. My family who's here tonight, my dad, my grandmother, Mom and Tom, and my fiance, for allowing me to run for this position, for supporting me from day one in this endeavor that I've charted over the past couple of years. I just think about the times where my dad would help me with my signs, putting up all of my signs, which is truly a hard endeavor, as people who ran for this board understand. We had a time and a half trying to put those signs up, but nobody complained in my family about supporting me throughout the process. Last but not least, the board that I sit with today and the previous board that I sat with has been nothing but the best. We didn't necessarily agree the entire time, but I know that the dedication that we all have on this board to the students and to the continuance of education in this district is what wins the most. So I appreciate every single one of you for the job well done, the contributions that we all face or that we all put into this job is amazing. The amount of hours that we spend, I think about Mr. Zola for all the times and the hours that he puts into this, along with many others on this board. We don't get a lot of recognition. We get a lot of flack, but this board should be recognized for all the hours and all the time that they put into this. So as president of this board, for one last meeting, thank you to this board and to the public for its continued support.
Could I add one more person I'd like to thank too? All the other people I mentioned, I forgot Chris Slusser, because you don't know it, because when he's out here, he doesn't have a lot to say.
That's true.
But behind the scenes, he's a big part of how we make decisions. So I appreciate your expertise, Chris, and have for the last 4 years, so thank you too.
Thanks, Jim.
I'll make a motion if there's no other public comment. Uh-oh. Antonio.
I need to thank the students. I forgot, so I wrote something. Well, you must forgot. I can't leave, I may not leave this meeting without thanking all the students that the high school seniors that invited me and hundreds of other veterans to that breakfast. That was great. That breakfast on November 9th, that was Thursday morning, the Veterans Breakfast Program. Many thanks to all the high school seniors, the class of 2018, the high school seniors. I was very honored to be there. That was great. I had a good time. All the students were very polite and very helpful with the veterans, especially helping the disabled veterans. I saw the students working, you know, to have the veterans feel comfortable that morning. They were all very polite and well-mannered. The orchestra, the music from the orchestra and the choir, that was great. And the movie that we saw, great. Now, let me remind you that these high school students, and they are not only from Hazleton, they are from Freeland too. The Freeland students that attend our high school, the district has only one high school. Some of the students came from Freeland, McAdoo, Clares, Butler Township, the Sugarloaf, Cunningham, all the municipalities that are covered by our Hazleton High School. And the one thing that I really liked was that the students had the opportunity to meet our government representatives, such as the Honorable Senator John Yudichak, State Senator, great, and Honorable State Representative Tara Tuhil was there. The students had a chance to speak with her. The students learned, besides helping us veterans, they also learned quite a bit. And I need to ask our high school principal a question about the senior project. Do the high school students still work with a senior project? And the reason why I'm asking about the senior project is because if we still have the senior project, I am recommending that these seniors be given some points, some percentage points for what they did on that Veterans Day. That was great. Thank you. I better sit down.
I'll make a motion again.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bobby.